Hello, coming to you with a new look, new haircut. I had an agenda for what I wanted to say, but I guess that train has left the station, as my trains of thought usually do. I'm realizing that I wanted to come on here and give you some update about, some drastic change that I've made in my mindset, or something that has been completed, that I've done, some great accomplishment. And I haven't had one of those. I think I'm still in the process of progress. And it's a little bit frustrating, but I don't want that to be the thing that I'm always coming here to talk about. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just be talking about, like, oh, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, whatever. I do want to be able to highlight the things that are going well, or the things that, I'm excited about. It's really interesting because I've been pretty busy, and that is very helpful. Having work to do is very helpful because it keeps me distracted. But also, sometimes there are periods of time during my work day, where I'm kind of just sitting there, like, doing nothing, and I'm really bored. And I'm really working on this habit of reaching for my phone the second that I get bored, and I've been doing pretty well. Every once in a while I'll grab it when I go to the bathroom. I'm like, why am I taking my phone to the bathroom? Let me just leave it at my table. So, just adjusting that habit. I think it's like a minute window, like 45-second to a minute window, where you can change that habit. And then every time you replace the habit of, okay, instead of grabbing my phone, I'm going to grab a book, or instead of grabbing my phone, I'm going to take a drink of water. Every time you do that, it weakens that already pre-established habit of, okay, when I get in my car, I'm going to grab my phone, or when I get on the couch, I'm going to grab my phone. You start replacing it with other things. But anyway, that's just like a tip. What I wanted to get to was this piece about boredom, and how a lot of the things that I've kind of like created, I guess, during these periods of boredom have really taught me a lot about my creativity. And also, someone came up to me this evening, and one of my coworkers, and she was like, oh, like, are you an artist? And I was like, no. Just like immediately, instinctually, I said no. And she was like, oh, so you just like to doodle then? And I was like, yeah. And I really sat there, and then I realized that for the rest of the time that I was working on this little, like, mini art piece on a Post-it note, I just didn't like the thing that I was doing anymore. I didn't feel inspired, or I didn't feel creative. And I was really thinking about my quick answer to say, no, I'm not an artist. And I immediately shut down the possibility of having that be part of my identity, because I've never seen myself in that light. And I think that applies also to leadership, of never really thinking that I could be a leader, because I have this set idea of what a leader acts, or how a leader acts, what they do. And I'm so stuck to these rigid categories and identities that I find it hard to say that they apply to me, because I feel like, I'm not like that. Instead of saying, hey, how can I make those titles apply to me? I don't have to change anything about myself to fit these categories or fit these titles. It's more about how I interpret them, and then how I show up. Yes, I am an artist. It's it's really unfortunate that I've limited my idea of what an artist can be to specific mediums. And I hope that you don't limit yourself. I hope that you can experience the world with an open mind and experience yourself and your capabilities with an open mind. It's really funny because with the students, we've been talking about growth mindsets, growth versus fixed mindsets. And I feel like that's still something that I'm learning to really practice or be cognizant of. Yeah, like sometimes I have certain patterns of thinking, certain ways of thinking that are very fixed. And I'm like, wait, I can change, I can grow. You know, this is a learning opportunity. This is not a failure. I am not a failure because I think a really big detriment to like the self when you have a fixed mindset is that you attribute your failures to some sort of personal, like, negative self concept. And you like get this like weakened sense of self, weakened confidence, because you attribute it to like something that's like wrong with you, but there's nothing wrong with you. Anyway, I'm like going all over the place, but that just had to come out of me, I guess. And yeah, I'm like, I feel like that's really what needed to be spoken into existence and taken off of my mind for right now. Wait, there are so many things that I haven't talked to y'all about recently, but that just means I have to be more consistent with this and like give myself the time to sit and talk with y'all, because I do have a lot of reflections. And again, like, I want to make this a very real, like, more sophisticated channel where I have editing, where I give you like a vlog or some video essay and things like that. But again, that comes with being consistent, and I can only get to that space if I practice with the skills that I have right now, with the tools that I have right now. And then I can grow, then I can build. Yeah, because I have this perfectionist tendency that I want everything to get done the way that I want it to get done immediately. That's not how the world works. It just takes a lot. It takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of time to build something great. But yeah, anyway, that is all for right now. I hope y'all are doing well, and I'll see you guys very soon. Very, very soon, I promise. Okay, goodbye.